What's going on, Goombas? My name is Michael Jaymes. I am a published author and self-employed writing coach, and I have just reached the milestone of hitting 500 sales on Fiverr. And I want to share with you some of the greatest things I've learned from using the platform in general, owning my own business and being a freelancer, but also some specifics on using Fiverr and how you can be successful with it too. And stay tuned, because later in this video, I'm going to be going over my earnings and talking about what I've made in 4 years of using Fiverr and 500 sales. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Quick side note, I apologize for the distractions behind me. Also, check out that cool painting. Come on, my niece made that for me, and I love it. It's cool, right? Comment below if you think you know what it is. But anyway, I just got a bookshelf and it doesn't hold all my books. As you can see, there's a box of books behind me. I gotta get another one. But yeah, apologize for the distraction. Also, I quickly just want to say that all of the information I'm going to go over today, some of it's tips and some of it's piece of advice, some of it's specific actions you could take, some of it's just knowledge that I think is important to know when you're using the Fiverr platform. A lot of this can be applied to just like being a freelancer, whether you're on Fiverr or not, but I just wanted to say that they're not in any specific order, and these are just the things that I think would be the most beneficial to know when starting on Fiverr, and probably the biggest things that I learned after doing 500 orders on the platform and working on it for nearly 5 years. So yeah, without any further ado, let's actually get into my first tip. All right, so the first thing I want to go over that I have learned since using the Fiverr platform is that most of your clients are not going to be repeating clients. From the freelancers that I have met and talked to over the last, I've been doing this for a little over 4 years, coming on my 5th year now. From the other freelancers I've talked to, like a lot of them don't have repeating clients. And it's the same with me. I don't have many repeating clients. I have some clients that have returned and keep ordering from me pretty frequently or like quarterly throughout the year or something. But I would say 80% or more of the clients that I have served are not returning clients. And this is something that's really important for you to understand when you begin working on Fiverr, because if you go in with the mindset realizing that all the clients you're going to work with are mostly going to be one and done clients, they're not going to be repeating clients that order from you month to month, and you can't build this sustainable income off of your clientele that way, what you should try to do is build a system where they can order from you multiple times in a row, which makes this one and done client more profitable, if that makes sense. So let me use myself as an example. So I used to offer just outlining and ghostwriting. Those were the two things that I would do for clients. Now, I didn't realize early on, but what I could have been doing is saying, hey, I only ghostwrite books that have been outlined first, but I also offer outlining. So if you'd like me to outline it, I would then ghostwrite it. Now I'm getting 2 orders out of this same person. Mainly, I don't offer ghostwriting anymore. I mainly offer researching and brainstorming, outlining, alpha reading, and then developmental editing. And they all build off of one another. So if someone says, hey, I want to write a book on this project or on this topic, and I say, have you done the research? I can do research for you if you'd like. So then they'll pay me to do all the research, and I'll gather all the research and organize it for them, and I'll throw this giant doc of information at them, and then I'll say, hey, if you need that research to be formatted into an outline so that you know point to point what to write about in your book and how to write it, then I can do that as well. Then they'll pay me to outline it, and I'll teach them how to write the book. And then I'll say, hey, whether you or a ghostwriter is going to write this book, if you want professional feedback on if the writing is good, then reach out to me and I'll edit as you go. I'll edit each chapter and I'll give you feedback. So then they pay for my alpha reading, and then I'll give them feedback as they go. And then once they finish the whole book, I'll say, hey, if you want a final polish on the book to ensure that it's ready for publication, I can do developmental editing on it, and then they'll pay me for that. So I have these building block orders and services I can provide that my clients can order. And I would highly recommend doing this yourself. If I did this early on, I would have probably been a lot more successful starting out on Fiverr, and I wish I realized this. So that is the first big thing I want to talk about. Fiverr is a one and done platform. Most of your clients are not going to be returning clients. There will be exceptions to that rule, especially depending on what service you're providing. I mean, for example, if you're somebody selling a cookie dough recipe, right? You're probably not going to have many people be repeat clients keep buying that same recipe, right? That doesn't make any sense. But if you sell cookies, then there's a better chance that you have repeating clients. So it's the same thing in services. If you're providing a service that someone needs a lot of, then they're going to keep ordering it. But if it's a service that someone just needs once so they can complete something, then they're not going to keep ordering it. So it really depends on what service you're providing and who the buyer is. I mean, sometimes you're working with a marketing firm. There have been publishing companies I've worked with where they hire me to outline all the books, and then they send all my outlines to different ghostwriters, and then they hire me for more outlines, and then they send them to ghostwriters again. So it's almost like I was working with a middleman, whereas if I was working directly with the writer, they might only order one outline. I hope that all makes sense. That's the first and biggest thing that I have learned using the Fiverr platform, and I really think everyone else should be applying this tip and offering services that build off of one another, because if you do that, you have a better chance of making more income and providing higher services and better services for your clients. The second thing that I had to learn using the Fiverr platform is that you have to be flexible. Holy crap, you have to be flexible. This is like with any business or service or thing you do out there, you have to be flexible, right? But I did not realize how flexible I have to be with Fiverr. With Fiverr, I had to always be prepared for either randomly getting 7 sales in one day and I have to finish all of them by the end of the week, stressing out that I'm gonna be pulling 3 all-nighters this week, or I'll get no sales for like 60 days and not know why. That is just the Fiverr platform, and it's really frustrating. I've had a lot of success on Fiverr, but the one thing I hate is their algorithm. And this may be outdated information, but from what I understand, their algorithm is a carousel algorithm format, which basically means that they give everyone the opportunity to be on the first, second, third page. So whether you're a new seller or a top-rated seller, you have the opportunity to be in the front, at the top. And I like that in the sense that it gives everyone an opportunity to get started, which is great. But the thing I hate about it is it also moves my gig off the front page very frequently when I'm a top seller. I am one of the highest in sales in the writing service department on Fiverr, and my gig does not always show up on the front page. To me, that's ridiculous. I've worked hard for my gig to be on the front page, and yeah, I think you can still use your carousel algorithm and have other people's newer gigs also on the front page, but I think it should be sprinkled with other high quality gigs, and that shouldn't push my gig to page 2 or 3. There have been times where my gig has been so far behind on page 6 or 7. I do love Fiverr. I have grown a lot in business-wise and just in knowledge from using the platform, so I'm very thankful for it. But I did want to bring this up because you have to be flexible with this. So if you realize that your gigs are not making sales, there's a few different reasons for that. It could be that your prices are too high. It could be that your prices are too low. It could be that there's a drought in that specific service right now and there's not many people ordering that right now. If you offer something that has a season to it, even though things aren't seasonal, there are times where things are more popular. For example, a gym is not a seasonal thing. You can have a gym subscription any time of the year, but when do they get the most traffic? It's the month of January. The month of January is when most people sign up for a gym because of New Year's resolutions. So it's a seasonal service in the sense that most people will be coming in the winter months when they start out, and then it will probably die down during the summer. And that may be the same for your service. Even if it's not a seasonal service, it may still have a season of its own. But with all that being said, sometimes it's the carousel that puts you out of the algorithm. It pushes you down and you don't have much say in that. What I would do to come back against this, to make sure that you are not going to be lost in the Fiverr search results and never be found again and never sell anything again, is you have to be ready to always make new gigs. You have to be ready to always edit your descriptions, edit your profile pictures. And that's a little scary sometimes, because if I have a gig that's selling consistently, I'm selling like 3, 4, 5 orders a week, and then out of nowhere, I'm just not selling anymore. Part of me says, it'll come back any day now. It's gonna come back, it's gonna work, it's gonna bounce back. I don't wanna touch it, I don't wanna change anything because it might change my standing in the algorithm, and and then maybe people will never find me again and I might ruin everything. Like, and that can be the concern. But on the other flip side, if you don't do anything, you might be sitting here wishing you did 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and time will keep passing as you just keep trying to hold on. It's going to work one of these days. And you can't do that. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to make changes often. One of my top selling gigs is my nonfiction outlining. And in nonfiction outlining, the gig that I use, I have changed the name of that gig probably 3 times in the last 4 years. And I've also changed the picture 3 or 4 times in the last 4 years as well. The descriptions of my gigs have changed 2 or 3 times each. Also, if I feel that I don't want to change anything, then I'll make a new gig. I'll offer something that I already offer, but I'll reword it or be a little more specific or less specific, or pick a specific genre that it'll target or whatever it may be, so that hopefully if that can bring in a sale, maybe it'll bump up my profile as a whole and help my other gigs be found easier. And I don't know if that's even all true, if that's how it works, but I have found on Fiverr, anytime I'm making sales, I'm making a lot of sales. If one person orders from me, that same day, I'm more likely to get 5 messages from 5 different clients than any other day. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I can back that up with anything, but that just seems to be the case. Any day I'm making orders, I'm getting more messages. All that to say, long story short, be willing to be flexible. Always be willing to learn so that you can be offering new services that can go together with your other services and you can be making more money, or you can be editing your gigs and making better pictures and better like cover photos and descriptions so that people actually find your work. Even though that's going to take a few weeks for the algorithm to re-put you back in the algorithm. I think it takes like 6 weeks or something, sometimes less, for bots to crawl your information or whatever it is. Even though that is the case, it's better than just waiting around and seeing nothing happen. I was already established and making good money on the platform, and then I had a 3-month drought and I could not figure out why. And then I started offering new services and my whole profile exploded again. So I would really recommend to be willing to be flexible and ready to be flexible for when times of drought come. So the last thing I've learned, and the most important thing I've learned using the Fiverr platform, is that you need to use Fiverr as a funnel. It is not an end-all be-all platform where you can make a full-time income easily. And I wish I realized this earlier, because I went into using Fiverr hoping that this would be where I can be making, you know, anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month, so I can sustain myself easily and make that much income. I know that's different for wherever you live, depending on what your bills are and whatnot, but for me, that was the goal. I wanted to make anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month off of Fiverr so that I could easily sustain myself and my wife working off of this platform. But the problem with this mindset is that Fiverr has a bad reputation. Fiverr has this reputation that it is mainly amateurs and mediocre services offered on their platform. Just go to YouTube and search the word Fiverr and look at how many videos there are making fun of the platform itself. You know, there's videos of people saying, I paid someone to make this video edit, I paid someone to create this script, I paid someone to make this video game, whatever it is, and they're kind of making fun of the amount of mediocrity on the platform. And the other thing about Fiverr is that everything is pretty low price. There's not many people going to Fiverr to spend a lot of money. Most people, like I said earlier in this video, most people on Fiverr are looking for a one and done service. They're not looking to spend more than you know, for me, the most I typically sell a service for is around $200, $250. Sometimes it's much lower than that. Sometimes it's only around $30 to $50 for a very small service that I'm offering. So there's not a lot of people coming to Fiverr looking for a big project to be done. Now, that might be different depending on what you offer. For me, as a writer and a writing coach, that's what my average has been. I think my average sale price is around $75 on Fiverr. And I have had larger projects done on Fiverr where someone's paying me around $500 or $600 for one single order, but that is not the norm on Fiverr. And all that to say, Fiverr should be a funnel, because if you are able to take
your knowledge and all of the orders that you've accomplished and completed on the Fiverr platform, and talk about it on your own personal website. Talk about how much experience you have, show some of your reviews, build a portfolio, and just talk about how you're an expert in your field and you're able to market that website and be found in a search result, or have social media lead to that website, and you can get sales that way. You have a much better chance of having higher ticket profile clients and potential clients to reach out to you. For example, just in this month alone, I've had someone reach out to me through my website and place an $1,800 order. Versus if I were doing that just through Fiverr, I would have never seen an order that high. I've never seen someone order that high on Fiverr ever in my life. Like I said, the highest I've ever seen someone order is around $600, and that was very against the norm. It was out of nowhere, and I'm very thankful for that, but that is not, most people are not coming to Fiverr for really high quality services. If you look at Fiverr and use it as a funnel instead of as the end all be all platform that you work from, then you'll have a different mindset. You'll try to be finding ways, how can I, still abide by the Fiverr TOS, but lead people to my website. Typically, this will show that you are more professional than the other people on Fiverr that you're competing with. And on top of that, it also, you're not losing income from Fiverr. They take 20% of everything you make on their website, which is a fair deal because they're giving you so many views to your gigs, whereas on my website, I may not get that many views. For example, on Fiverr, I average around 5,000 impressions a week. On my website, I'm lucky to average 500 in a month, so some of that comes down to I could be marketing better, I could be doing better on my website. But overall, Fiverr itself should be used as a funnel so that you can either get potential clients to your website, or you can get the sales and experience you need on Fiverr so you can build a website to cater to higher ticket profile customers in the future. And this has made such a big impact in the latter time I've worked on Fiverr. Now that I've been on Fiverr for coming up on my 5th year, I have learned this and been able to apply this kind of mindset to a lot of the work that I do on Fiverr now. So for example, while I can't specifically say to people, hey, contact me on my website, because that goes against the Fiverr TOS and I don't want to be kicked off their platform. Something I am allowed to do is say, hey, if you want to know more about my services, I talk about them here, and I can give my website link and where it gives more detail about my services, but there's also a contact option for them. So now they know they can contact me there without me explicitly saying it, and they can decide if they want to contact me there, and if they don't, that's fine. I'm still fine with working with them on Fiverr, but at least it's giving them the knowledge that I have this website and I have a portfolio over there and I have my services that I can detail over there more if they want to work with me elsewhere. It also leads to all my social media so they can follow me elsewhere and then I can contact them. You can't go out of your way to tell someone to contact you elsewhere, but it's not against the TOS to find them on LinkedIn or on Instagram or wherever it may be and say, hey, I just worked with you on Fiverr. It was a great opportunity working with you. If you ever want to work with me again, reach out to me. You can find more about me on my website here. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients. If I feel like they are a client that can potentially be a client that I work with multiple times or more in the future, then I will typically see if their username is the same on something like Instagram or LinkedIn. Or sometimes I will see if on Fiverr, some people have their full name and you can just search their name and see if you can find their pictures elsewhere. So I have done that a few times, but I typically wait till I finish an order with them because at least it establishes that they've seen the high quality work I provide and it's a better chance that they'll work with me. Or if they're asking for something that is of high ticket value, but they don't order, then I know that they're interested, but it gives me the impression that maybe they think Fiverr's sketchy. Maybe they're unsure about placing this order on this platform, especially if they're a new buyer, they've never used the platform before, which Fiverr will sometimes tell you this is a new buyer, give them a great experience. Then I will reach out elsewhere and let them know. Again, I'm not going against the TOS where I'm saying in messages, contact me here, or here's my email. I'm not saying anything like that. I am finding other ways that I can either contact them without violating the TOS, or show them that they can contact me elsewhere if they feel that they want to go that route. And I've had a lot of success from this. I've had returning clients that I've worked with through PayPal invoices and my email, instead of working with them through Fiverr. And it's also led to more traffic to my website, and has led to, potentially that's led to some of the other clients that have found my website. So I would really recommend that you look at Fiverr as a funnel and not an end-all be-all platform where you're going to build your full income. For me, I have made $30,000 on Fiverr in the last 4 years of using the platform, which isn't a ton of money, but it has led to making money other areas, whether it's my website or social media or where have you. So those are my 3 main tips that I would give, and the 3 things that I have learned from using the Fiverr platform for 4 years and making 500 sales on the platform. Overall, my conclusion on the site is that it is a great place to start a business. It is a great place to gain experience and to get paid even for practice, because when you start out, you're not charging a ton of money for a lot of the things that you start out on, start offering, but you're getting a lot of experience, and you can use that to build a portfolio and gain more success elsewhere as you grow in your freelancing career. I hope that these tips were beneficial to you and that you learned something. If there's anything specific you want me to talk about dealing with Fiverr, comment below and let me know. I'd love to talk more about the subject. I just wanted to talk about the 3 main takeaways I've had after having 500 sales on the platform. So thank you again for watching, and if you have any questions or want to reach out for one of my services, feel free to comment below or find me on one of my socials, and I'd love to get in touch. Thanks again, and catch you in the next one.